Welcome to Symbolic Minds Generation, y'all. Sorry it took so long for me to get with y'all for another video. I had to let the other one ride out, man. Got so many comments on it and replies and phone calls about it, man. So I just let it ride out a little bit. We're gonna get into racism in America is today's topic. And I personally believe that a lot of guys who come out of prison come out racist. They might not say that they racist, but you racist for real. So if your mentality is white people, black people, whatever, and you got that in your head, you're a racist. So let's get right into it. As we all know, the mass shooting in a predominantly black neighborhood in Buffalo at a Tops grocery store. White guy had racist verbiage on his semi-automatic weapon, stuff while he was killing people. And I actually seen the video. Somebody sent it to me, and I thought it was like a video game. I didn't know, what I mean? That's how it looked, like a video game. Like, I can't believe people was just dropping dead like that. And I shared it with a few people, and actually, man, on Instagram, they sent me a little thing talking about the community guidelines and shit about it. Like, how? Like, how you gonna send me something about that? This is real life. This real life. Like, come on, it's real life. Like, how you saying something to me about sharing this? Like, you see what I'm saying? This is shit I'm talking about. See, look. Let's get back to the guy right quick. I'm gonna say this before I'm gonna move on. Ain't you tired of, man, seeing black people get pulled over for a broken tail light or a broken blinker? And then they get fucked up. They get beat down there half to death. Then you got somebody go kill all kind of people in the grocery store. And all these dudes is getting, when they arrest them, they ain't got a scratch on them. They ain't got a scratch on them, man. We grew up, man, when shit happened in our hood or something was happening, or somebody was on the run from the police, everybody in the house be like, man, they gonna fuck him up. If they don't kill him, they gonna fuck him up when they catch him. You know what I'm saying? How come this don't apply to them? How you let this dude, he ain't got a scratch on him, bruh? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, come on, y'all ain't angry. Nobody's angry with what this dude did. White or black, you gotta be like angry. Like, come on, man. Like, not one tooth out of his mouth. Like, come on. Tell these dudes shooting up churches and all that and ain't got a scratch on them when they catch them. Nothing. I mean, I was in the jail, man. You know those Somalian pirates, right? They was hijacking ships and stuff out in the sea and all of that, right? So this is the story. One of them was in the prison of California with me. And man, he had a little limp when he walked. Barely know English or whatever. So there was only one person in there that could speak their language to translate for them to get around and stuff to a couple of Somalian guys. And the story is that they got caught by the Coast Guard or whatever on the ship or whatever. They got caught. But he ended up getting away. He ended up in the water. He got away. And he was trying to swim back to somewhere. And he decided he'd rather go back and get caught by the police than go back to his people in Africa. They was going to kill him. Over there, they got a no man left behind policy. So how you come back and you ain't got your brothers with you? So he went back and just came to jail. Do you know when they had him handcuffed on the ground, they had him all laying down, they shot him in his leg. That's why he was limping. And I see why, man, because after his leg healed in the jail, man, he went out on that soccer field, he was Pele. I'm talking about fast, quick, everything. I'm talking about super fast. Running full speed with the ball, just with him, with his feet, kicking full speed. But I say this though, like, man, how many times we done heard this kind of story? I had a Sully, man, Henderson Henry, man, from South Carolina. He had robbed a bank. He put his hands up in a field because he took him on a chase or whatever. Down on one knee with his hands up on his head like this. They shot him in his back. He paralyzed from the waist down. Come on, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all got a million stories just like I do about this shit. This shit ain't fair. Until, man, somebody, man, in authority, like in our government, even the police, bro, the police is just horrible toward blacks. Until that mentality changes, man, it's going to always be racism. Does somebody come in that office and talk about them, the Special Order 15, the 40 Acres and a Mule, whatever, by General William T. Sherman? Back in the day, I think that was 1865. Does somebody, man, talk about that? Or make penalties harder for crimes against blacks than any other thing? Just because y'all brought us here. Y'all brought us here in shackles. You got a lot of people say that we was already here, but I'm just saying, y'all brought us here in shackles. When you gonna apologize or make things right with us? Let me see, 1865, let me see, 1965. We talking about, what, 156, 57 years ago? So your grandmother's grandparents were probably slaves. We ain't too far removed. It's gonna take somebody in the high office to acknowledge what the hell they done did and what's going on for this shit to trickle down into our society. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the Field Order 15 was the 40 acres and a mule thing. And it actually stated that they had 400,000 acres that they was going to split up between 4 million free slaves. That's why everybody got like 40 acres. I'm on the southwest coast and stuff down in Georgia, whatever, Florida, whatever. And it was 40 acres, no more than 40 acres of tillable ground, you know, that they can grow on and stuff like that. They said a mule came later in it where somebody just threw that in. And in 1865, you know, they killed Abraham Lincoln, who abolished slavery. So Vice President Andrew Johnson took over in April 1865. Now, this is a president who owned slaves. He owned slaves. And by the end of 1865, he had abolished that whole thing. That's what people don't really realize. They think they still owe 40 acres and a mule, but that shit was abolished as soon as it came out. That's what I just said, bro. Listen, we need the people in high office, these police officers, because they authorities, they authority figures, whether y'all want to believe it or not. And I still believe law enforcement is the most important occupation on the planet. Even though these police officers treat us like shit, killing us, whatever, you know, trying to, you know, organize slavery, plant shit on us, put us in the jail and all of that. It would be hell on earth if we didn't have authority, if we didn't have a structure of law in place, where every man had to fend for himself. It would be The Walking Dead, with different gangs over here and that. Do y'all want that? That's why I say, man, law enforcement is very important. With that being said, I ain't trying to justify all these officers killing us and beating us and putting us in the jail, planting shit on us and all of that. I'm not justifying none of that. None of that. When you go to prison, I mean, I think a lot of us come out racist. You know what I mean? It's like it's segregated in there. You in a separate group, and don't let something happen between white and the black where all the blacks come together. Because you know, blacks is the majority in all prisons in the United States, state or federal. So they don't want to see blacks come together. That should tell you something right there. We powerful together. We powerful together, bro. Man, I knew some white guys. Man, I knew a white guy. He slept next to me. He actually saved my life. You know, I was dehydrated. I had come in from the court. I jumped in the shower, tried to take a hot shower, and I started feeling it in the shower. I started getting weak and nauseous and stuff. Man, I done walked out the shower, man. My shorts and my drawers halfway up to down my ass. I'm trying to make it to the cell. You know what I'm saying? And I get in that cell, man, everything just emptied out. My stomach. I sit on the toilet. Dehydrated. And I'm on the top rack, man. I'm trying to figure out, I can't even wipe my ass. My arms, my legs and shit was cramping up. I had cramps coming out my arms and shit. I was like, oh. So I don't even know how I got on the top rack. And that was the biggest mistake ever because I couldn't get down. I was trying to scream and couldn't nobody hear me. So luckily my neighbor, this white guy, was going to his cell, heard me screaming. I was like, hey. And he opened the door like, man, what's up? And he went and got my homies. So my homie Dark came up there, man. He had me some water. He put a bunch of salt in and made me drink it. And man, they called the medical and everything. Nobody came for me. I could have just died up in there. I'm talking about it was for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, bro. I was in torture. My muscles, man, you can see my muscles coming out my legs, bro, like standing up like this. Like they busting out my skin. Just dehydrated, bro, just done. I ended up drinking a gallon of salt water, man, just to get myself back right. But anyway, that same guy, the white guy that saved my life, bro, we was talking one day, and I don't know why he confided in me, but he was with the ABs and stuff. He had the swastika tattoos and shit, the racist shit all on his arms and shit, and they were, you know, he was a sucker to me. Like when they can get hold of you when you come in, you a sucker. You know what I mean? You fall for the peer pressure instead of standing on what you believe and your grounds and stuff like that. So that's just that's my beliefs. That's my beliefs. You a sucker if you fall for none, especially if you ain't with it. But anyway, man, he had a black baby mama. He showed me the pictures and everything. But he in there representing the Aryan Nation. You know what I'm saying? I could have blew that up. Maybe he wanted me to say something so he could, you know, they can make him leave the yard, or he gonna go in the hole, or he gonna, you know, maybe he wanted me to say something, but I ain't say nothing. Maybe he was tired of that lifestyle and wanted me to bring it out instead of him saying it himself. But I ain't fall for it. You know what I mean? So there's a whole lot of guys coming there, and you end up grouping up, and a lot of times, man, they make you racist. The COs in there is sometimes to lie on you. The white COs to lie on the blacks and do you dirty and shit and all kind of shit. You go to the team, your counselors and case managers, they might be racist. Don't want to put you in for a transfer. Every time you do something, they never give you a break. There's always a write-up. Just any kind of thing. Then they get a break to the white. It's all kind of shit to make you racist. You got some black people in the COs and they might treat the white people different. Or don't show them the same love they show the blacks. But it's in my humble opinion that the way we act, because you got a lot of blacks, man, they cool with whites. They marry, they want to marry the spouse, they attracted to whoever. They don't judge and go by the history and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So to me, the racism, if you see a black racist, it's a result of the oppression that we've been through. We don't trust you. So until somebody come in that office, man, and make this shit trickle down to make us trust again, man, it's gonna always be racism, bro. It ain't going nowhere. As a matter of fact, it's gonna get worse. That little young boy that shot up that Tops, man, in Buffalo, man, he should already be dead. That's the kind of shit, the kind of rules that need to be in place. Shouldn't be no trial, man. He should be dead within 48 hours. On national TV like he did. He filmed it. They should do the same thing on national TV. Execute him. This the only way, man, you're going to start racism, man. Racism ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I got life without parole. Didn't get caught with no drugs. I'm just in a drug conspiracy. How'd you get life without parole? You know who else was in the conspiracy? It's a little bug in here. You know who else in the conspiracy that's doing life without parole? Terry Nichols. If y'all don't know who he is, he conspired with Timothy McVeigh in the Oklahoma City bombing that killed 168 people. Actually, I had 5 years because I got more time than him. You see the shit I'm talking about? How I get more time than him? Non-violent, no drugs. This is shit I'm saying, man. This shit got to trickle down from up top, bro. They got to trickle down from up top. Man, we sick and tired the way y'all treating us. And I'm one of those people, man, I done been around black people where I done been embarrassed. Like, man, this nigga acting like too much like a nigga around these white people. So I know some white people out there like, man, they can't stand the fact of how some white people act with the racism. Shit, back in the 60s and stuff, Martin Luther King and all them, it was white people with them. So I understand it ain't like it ain't everybody. I understand it ain't everybody. But everybody need to do just a little bit more. A lot more for this shit to end. It's not gonna never end. I said it's one of my videos, man, racism is here to stay forever. You putting people in the office that want to separate everybody. They got secret agendas and shit like that. Instead of putting the people in there that's, once somebody asks a question like, what you gonna do for blacks? We think you need to do something for blacks. Shit, you probably need to pay us, give us our 40 acres. You probably need to give us that to make people acknowledge that, that we good now. We can go on without it, but this shit's still going on. Back then, it was just slavery and death. It's still the same right now. Ain't nothing changed. Only thing changed is technology. So when you out there today, man, or tomorrow, whenever, man, let me tell you something. If you think it's some hope in this world or in the United States, man, there's no hope, bro, until somebody get up there and it'll be a trickle down effect. There got to be something major. Where every black person can come down there to the federal building and get a check to change his life. You know those 400,000 acres, you know what they worth today? $640 billion. They ain't trying to give you that. They'll send $1 trillion over there to another country to help them, though. Or they'll do that. With that being said, man, we still slaves, bro. We still slaves. They just abolished abortion and shit, man. They can do this shit. Who to say they want to bring slavery back? Who to say somebody might get in there in the next 8 to 10, 15 years, they might fuck the whole world up on some racist shit. The only way to start racism, man, you got to start from up top, and it got to trickle down into our society. Lesser sentences. In the courts for going to prison. You got to get other people. Crimes against blacks got to be harsher than any other sentence. Oh, who you shot? You shot a black guy? Oh yeah, that's double the time. Cause that's what they've been doing to us. If you look at the stats and some of the same crimes between black and whites, man, the white don't get far less time. That's what they've been doing to us. Until somebody get up there and do that for us, it's gonna always be slavery, man. And you always got to be willing to die to protect your family and yourself. Even still, man, you going to jail. If some racist people pull up on you, try to kill you like they were trying to kill the what was it, the Amazon or the UPS driver a few months back, it can come from anywhere. It can come from anywhere. I was just reading a story on YouTube. Some dude worked for the county, and he helped people with mentally challenged kids and stuff. So he was dropping one of the kids off at their home, and the family dog had got out the door. He chased the dog, trying to catch the dog into this other man's yard, an off-duty police officer's yard. It ain't even his dog. Man, he done said some shit to him. They didn't hear words and all of that. And he done came to the man's house and not the man, the people's house, told the man to come out. He was going to come in there. He off duty. Then called some people and got the man arrested, bro. The man had lost his job with the county and everything. See, this is my thing. How you fire him? If it was a white guy, you wouldn't have fired him. He not in the wrong, you still fire him. Like, we don't stand a chance around here, man. We don't get a chance. Like, it's like, do something very small, man, could change your life. You get punished for the smallest shit around here being a black person. Until, man, somebody get in that office and in these governments and these states, and they trickle down this whole thing, man, we got to stop this racism, and they got to attack it heads on, and ain't nobody done it yet. We even had a black president in there that didn't do it. We had a black president that didn't do it, bro. Man, this racism getting out of hand, bro. It's out of hand. Man, y'all watch yourselves out there. Watch y'all back, wherever you at. Watch your back. Don't trust nobody. Because the shit is out of hand. You don't know who pulling up, want to air out the whole school. You don't know what the fuck going on, what's on these people's mind. But they done lost their fucking mind, bro. And it's the people up top ain't doing nothing about it. They ain't doing nothing about it. Nothing. This symbiotic mind generation, man. Y'all take it easy.